Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the RLH Asia Cup. Tonight you join us at the Sakir circuit in Bahrain. Unfortunately not live due to technical issues, which I'm not going to go into now because I'm absolutely fuming about them. But no, we should be in for a good race though. We've got 18 drivers on the grid tonight, so pretty packed, and we've got Sims Danger right now leading us out. But I think actually Just Call Me Bread is our first driver on track. Yeah, you can see him going through turns 1, 2 and 3 there. That's going to be very interesting for overtakes later on when we get to the actual race itself. I do apologise for the delayed start as well. I apologise for that, but yeah, here we go. Now, through those two turns there, that's turns 6 and 7, we might see 1 or 2 dangerous moves, and I know going side by side through there is always extremely risky, so we're going to have to watch out for drivers trying to pull one off there. But also I noticed that the Ferrari here is on the hard compound tyres, so a lot of bank lapses. Set out to be a one-stop this evening, and just a little history on this track. It was first used in the Formula 1 World Championship in 2004, although it got reprofiled between 2004 and 5 because it wasn't actually completely ready for the 2004 Grand Prix, but they decided to go ahead with it anyway because it still met FIA regulations. Anyway, coming towards the last 2 turns in the background, but it was actually commissioned by a sheikh, I can't remember his name actually, but he was also head of the Bahrain Motorsports Foundation, and yeah, essentially this track was designed for F1 by Herman Tilke, and that's the fastest lap so far, obviously, by Just Call Me Bread at 1:29.5. We should see some interesting laps though later on in the session. We've got Sims the Danger, you can see him preparing for his hot lap, and across the line goes Sem, which is a 1:28.1. But yeah, I do apologise for the issues I've had this evening. Sims Danger there with a 1:38.4, so he's definitely going on another lap after that. Marcus Short though, just pulling ahead of no, he's just behind, sorry, Larkin there. There's about a 10th in between himself and Larkin. But yeah, we've got a few good laps. None in the 1:27s, I don't think, and we might be able to see 1 or 2 later on in the session. We've come close though, 1:28.1. Just looking through, we've got some very close lap times here. Quite a few in the loads in the 1:28s, so we'll probably see more go into the 1:28s. Now, also I mentioned that Bahrain is a very different circuit to where we were last week in Melbourne. It's just so much more of a, because it's a permanent track rather than Melbourne, which is a semi-street circuit. It's very different, and hopefully less lethal than Melbourne because of the much higher amounts of runoff on this track. Now we've got Niels Balsa going through turn 4 there. We'll have a look to see who's actually not on a hot lap. There goes Dougie Falcons. We're right on board with him just as he sets the fast lap with a 1:29.69. That's over a second faster than second, although Sem was on the hards. Those are the soft tyres. So you can see the difference between tyres and what that makes for lap times. We've got Sparholt heading along the back straight there, but we're going to go up to Dropyate, and we're going to ride on board with him for this lap. You can see him in ERS mode 3, really kicking out the rear there, trying to get the power down into the DRS zone. He's already got it activated. ERS mode 4, you've got to conserve it a bit along the straight just because of how long it is. Anyway, heavy braking at about 125 metres into turn 1, then back on the power through turn 2, touching that curb onto turn 3. Got to be careful because you lose a lot of grip over that curb, those 2 curbs there. Then heading on into turn 4, pulling all the way over to the left, trying to get the maximum grip. Lots of oversteer, just about catching it, running wide though through turn 4. Now the left hand kink of turn 5 into turn 6, which leads flowingly into turn 7. Lots of downforce there, very easy to lose the rear end, then heavy braking into turn 8 before back up the hill on the power. Very easy to run a bit narrow on the exit there towards turn 9, which becomes braking for turn 10. Careful not to lock up, so easy to do there. Then onto the straight for turn 11, just ahead on the DRS very quickly. Got to be careful about the wheel spin on the exit. Anyway, heavy braking into turn 11, using all of that downforce on the car. back up the hill then towards turn 12, which is usually flat out depending on your setup. Then towards turn 13 now, trying to maximise the speed back onto this straight here, which is quite long with no DRS. Could see some overtakes into the final turn though during the actual race. Anyway, heading towards turns 14 and 15 now. It's all about the exit here, just given how long the straight is. On the power then, over the DRS zone, and quite an early start finish line. It's going to be a 1:29.3 there from Jotye in the McLaren, and that was probably due to that mistake at turn 4 we saw him do earlier in the lap. We've got Kvyat Sparholt though. He's heading through turn 13 now. Of course, he's only just joined the session because I think the lobby host, Spaghetti Chips, forgot to invite him, which isn't very good. So, yeah, this is the Mercedes heading along the straight. And now I know this isn't the first time we've had technical issues for a race. I think Suzuka last season we also had issues, which is really frustrating. I just can't log into the account, and I don't really know what's to blame. It's probably on my end though, knowing my luck. But we'll just get back to the qualifying session. You can see quite close there between Simsy Danger and Sparholt, about, I don't know, 15 hundredths of a second I think between them. Even less than that. No, even more than that, 24 hundredths. If you excuse my maths. 15 hundredths though between Morris and Marcus. Two quite similar names. But yeah, we've got quite a tightly packed grid, especially from 2nd all the way down to 12th, who are all within 1 second of each other. And I've got a mosquito in this room as the temperatures do begin to heat up as we head into the summer months. Where I am anyway, it all depends on where you are on the globe. Although I don't think there's anyone in Australia here because their ping would be through the roof. And into the pits there goes Morris. So we'll just have a look. And yeah, Marcus has retired from the session, and this is Will G 2005 heading through the right hander now. He's definitely on a hot lap. He's only in the first sector though, through turns 6 and then 7. You can see you've got to be careful on the power though, because it's quite easy to wheel spin just due to the speed you're carrying through there. Out of turn 8 then, back up the hill on the power. Let's see if he locks up into turn 10. You can see a little bit of lag from this driver. He's run slightly wider, and that's going to compromise his exit onto the straight, meaning he's going to have less speed, unfortunately, for him. Anyway, carrying along the straight now, all the way over that curb on the right. Could have invalidated, actually. He pulled really far over there. So we'll just have a quick look. We get the whole track map up. In fact, it's going to be the fastest 2nd sector for the Renault driver, as now he heads along the back straight, or the 2nd back straight really. I don't really know what to call it, but onto the main straight now, and you can see just how long it is along the bottom there. Anyway, carrying on, and across the line, it's going to be a 1:28.333, but I believe Campbell's just squeezed ahead there, ahead of Lakitu as well. That was just a 1:28.1 would be pretty much impossible around this track unless you're in something like the Red Bull X 2010. Simsy Danger has invalidated this lap, unfortunately for him. He seems to be struggling a little bit in this qualifying session. Just having a look around, who else is on a hot lap? It looks like it is just Simsy, but Simsy's... Oh no, we've got Larkin across the line there. And that was a 1:28.4, unless that wasn't his fastest lap so far. I don't quite know. But yeah, 1:28.4 there from him. That's his current lap time, which puts him just ahead of Spaghetti Chips. Let's see if anyone has crossed the line recently. Yes, we've got the Dougie Falcons, and we're not going to ride on board there, because that is a sight that will give you sore ears. But here is the Haas, currently on pole position. Back out again on the softs. It's going to be the fastest first sector so far. Let's see if he can carry that momentum through for the rest of the lap. He is holding on to first, although I do believe every other driver has done it on hards. Yeah, he's the only driver on softs actually, so we'll see if other drivers decide to move on to that now. And apparently you can get the leader gap out on here. Yes, you can, of course. That's the gap. I thought that was the gap to the leader on track, which I think wouldn't be really possible. But anyway, through to the end of Sector 2. Let's see if he masters Sector 2 as well. Ooh, it doesn't look like he was as fast that lap. But anyway, heading back out on the straight now. Let's see if he can improve on his 1:26.946 right now. Heading towards the line, but he's pulled too far to the left, trying to maximise his speed through the corner. And he's actually invalidated that lap time, unfortunately, for him. We've got Sparholt heading into turn 1 now. I'm not sure if he's just finished a lap or he's only starting a lap. He's just started his lap, actually. And we have Dropier a little further ahead of him now. So I think Dropier might be on a hot lap as well. So we'll watch Dropier and then head back up to Sparholt. Dropier is in 15th place right now with a 1:29.3. Let's see what he can do. I believe this is a hot lap anyway. Heading towards the line he goes with the DRS activated. And he does improve with a 1:28.6, putting up into 13th. Now we'll go up to Sparholt, who's actually on an outlap there. Maybe I should get the detail. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Lap data, that'd probably be a good idea. But yeah, good lap there from Dropier. He's not too far behind Morris actually, although he's only going to do the 1 lap on those hards. Of course, you don't really want to be overstretching the tyres you're doing qualifying on, because if you get into the top 10, you're going to be starting on those tyres, and you want as minimal wear as possible to them. Sorry about that. The pop filter's about to fall off because half of it got eaten by my dog, which means it's not on very tightly. So Marcus Short, actually, I think he hit a curb, and that's what caused his accident. And into the pits, yeah, is Dougie Falcon. So we've got Dropier, he's on an in-lap. I think Simsy Danger, though. Alright then, the game doesn't want us to look at Simsy, unfortunately. So we're going to have to go the long way round. But yeah, not good for Nils Barca, who's actually put on the wrong setup, he believes, which is really unfortunate for him. That's going to compromise him a lot into the race. It's already compromising him in qualifying. He's currently in 17th place with a 1:29.5 so far. There are yellow flags in Sector 2. I'm not quite sure if that's anything important. I don't think it is. Looking at the map, it might have just been drivers letting each other through, but we've got Simsy Danger. No, did I say Sector 4? I meant Sector 2. But here comes Simsy along the back straight up towards turn 11. You can see really maxing those revs in his Williams, really using those track limits as well. And we saw what happens earlier if you try and extend slightly too much, and that means your lap gets invalidated because it is very strict. That's the fastest second sector of anyone so far on the medium tyres as well. So this will be the first driver on medium tyres in the qualifying session. So let's see what he can do. You've got a Racing Point letting him through just behind, I think, or a Mercedes actually. Either or, they're pretty similar, at least for the 2020 season anyway. Here comes Simsy then, across the line. It's going to be second place with a 1:27.4 on the mediums, which means he's beating his teammate by half a second. Bjorn squeezing in just behind him though with a 1:28.0 on the medium tyres as well. Across the line goes Sem to start a lap on the mediums. Having a look around the order, we've got Campbell on the mediums as well. So this could be quite interesting. He is on the back straight now, and he's not too far behind Sem. But of course, Sem is about to set a lap as well. We have got Campbell on these mediums. Let's see how well he's doing on this sector as he crosses. He's up 0.8 seconds on his last lap. That could put him in quite good stead. He might just be able to get Simsy Danger. It all depends on this final sector, which isn't too much about cornering, and it's a lot about speed, of course. Setup is a big factor there. Towards the line goes Campbell though. Can he beat Simsy Danger? Yes, he can. With a 1:27.3, putting him up into second place. LR Bjorn there, he's already set his lap. And Sem has taken off his ERS. He might go for a lap afterwards. He might have found himself in traffic here. I think he's going to go to the line and then have another pop. Here comes Lakitu though, across the line on his mediums. It's a 1:28.2 as somebody moves their head up there. I think that was Just Call Me Bread. Yeah, moving all the way up the order there with a 1:27.5. Not too far behind Simsy Danger then. We've got Morris not far behind him though with a 1:27.8. And Bjorn, the other medium runner. So Sem on those hards, he's doing quite a good job because he's separating these medium runners. He's still ahead of Weichel in the Toro Rosso. So yeah, this is very interesting to see what these strategies are being run as Will invalidates that lap. We've got Sparholt coming towards the line now. Checkered flag is to be waved in 10 seconds, which means this is Sparholt's last chance. As it is for almost all of the other... In fact, it is for all of the other drivers. We've got a McLaren coming towards the line now. He's not pushing, I don't think. Although I say that, he's just set the fastest second sector. He could be going for pole position here. I'm not sure how much he is up on his lap time, actually. I didn't have a sneaky peek at that. As we have got Larkin now ahead of Simsy Danger, separating him from Campbell. But Campbell runs towards the line now. Very low fuel across it. It's going to be a 1:27.2, which increases his defensive position as Simsy Danger, as Spaghetti Chips even moves up the order with a 1:27.4, putting him just 6,000ths of a second behind Simsy Danger. Looking around the order then, we have got Simsy here who's invalidated, and that's going to bring an end to his qualifying session. We've got Larkin all the way over here, all the way off the track to be honest. And that is Dougie Falcons. We'll have a look around the order. We're beginning to get the retirements as Will invalidates once again, meaning he's going to be starting in at least 16th position, maybe even 17th, depending on Simply Superman, as Patrick goes into the pit lane. We've got Simply Superman here, though. He's coming towards the line. He's got a Renault ahead of him. That might actually be Will G 2005. So here comes the racing point across the line. It's going to be 12th place there with a 1:28.0. Just 5,000ths of a second faster than Bjorn, and that means will start in 17th place. But that brings an end to the qualifying session there. 13th place is this racing point. And let's have a quick look at the finishing of the qualifying order as I somehow get some XP. This doesn't happen in the other leagues I commentate. I think there must be something about RLH. Strange, but anyway, the qualifying order, it's going to be Dougie Falcons on pole position, followed by Lakitu 886, QVR Campbell 712 2004, Larkin 45, Simsy Danger, Spaghetti Chips, Drop Yay 518, Just Call Me Bread, QVR Sparholt, LOE Morris, LR Bjorn, Simply Superman 69, Hypes Weichel, Niels Barser, LR Patrick, Will G 2005 with Marcus Short rounding off the grid. And I will join you again during the race.